Good afternoon, everyone joining a new Stewarts Soundbite. Well, it's not a new Stewarts Soundbite, it's very much still within the realms of our 15-minute sessions that we've been doing for a really long time. But we haven't had a session in ages. We had a little break over summer and various things have been going on. So it's been a little while. So it's so good to be back for another quick 15-minute session. So thank you so much for joining us. And it's a really, really good one. It's a really interesting session to join because I think anybody that works in the world of serious injury will understand the significance of the topic today. So we're talking about kind of the power of peer support. I mean, I don't know how we're going to do this in 15 minutes, to be honest, because we talked on Zoom, didn't we, Leon and Katie? We talked on Zoom for about an hour and a half before even kind of streamlining this. So good luck to us, but we'll do our best. So yes, today I'm joined by Katie Banks, who's a specialist OT and a client community lead for Rehabilitate, and Leon Clarkson, who's part of the client community and a client liaison at Rehabilitate. Yes, and it's all about peer support today. Really important, really interesting. And we were just reflecting on before we started. We were just reflecting on when people don't even realize that peer support would be helpful. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. Let's just start from the beginning. Leon, can I ask you? Can you just start us off, and just tell us a little bit about your own experience of brain injury and rehabilitation?
Well, yeah. So I got my brain injury way back in 2010. Which is I ended up with a thing called I've got hypoxic brain injury, and I've kind of sort of like I didn't really understand the word brain injury or anything about brain injuries for quite a long time. Like I say, mine was caused from glandular fever, and it resulted in me having loss of oxygen to my brain for 45 minutes, which was crazy, really. But yeah, like that's so and then since it's been a crazy few years, but then since in the last year or so, I've started working for Rehabilitate.
And what about I wanted just to ask you a wee bit more about your role at Rehabilitate, because it's quite a niche role, really, isn't it, Leon? I just wanted to talk a wee bit about that and kind of what you do.
I'm basically the way I describe it, I'm kind of like a middleman in between, like the Rehabilitate staff and the clients, so like loved ones and stuff like that. So I'm there, been there, and done it, and kind of like I know some of the things that might help people, stuff like that, really, because I've been through it all, really. And I think people are hearing stuff from me. It kind of is they like the fact that they can see things that can happen. It's not the world. Their life isn't over after a brain injury, basically.
Yeah.
I think you're slightly underselling yourself there, Leon. I think your role a lot more than that. And I think we were talking about this topic earlier, weren't we, about isolation and loneliness after brain injury. And I think because you'd experienced that firsthand, you're in a much better position to give back. You know, you've got so much more to give back, and as of many of our clients in our client community, and now you play a vital role as part of our client community, inspiring and motivating others. You meet with them on a one-to-one basis. You coordinate the groups. You sort out the challenges, the parties.
You're making me sound too like too much of an expert now.
All the things that we do, and you help with our Facebook page, and you not only do you give back to the clients, but you actually, as staff, as OTs and our OT support team, we feel really lucky to have you because we're learning firsthand from somebody who's experienced these difficulties, and so you regularly join the training for our OT support team, and then you've gone on to inspire others, and bang the drum for rehabilitation and client community and peer support by giving talks and things at universities and conferences. So you've just done so much in just a year, really. So you've definitely sold yourself in your role.
The thing is, I always kind of sort of like people are often sort of like, how do you do all this kind of stuff? And like, I sometimes don't really know. Whereas I would look enough to have a really good support network through Rehabilitate that helped me get into this role. And like, I don't want people. It's like I don't like it's. I like maybe anybody can do what I can do. I'm nothing. I'm not anything special. But the thing is with me, I've got a gift of listening and talking. And when I talk, like people can feel the emotion in my voice and stuff like that. That's why when I spoke to clients, and they're so happy to get stuff off their chest that they're spoken to about with their rehabilitation staff, but they're not getting the feedback that I give them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the seamless part of peer support, isn't it? That you've got somebody talking in a first person voice that's experienced something. So there's kind of help, experience, and confidence there behind what you're saying that there isn't with somebody that hasn't been through it. So even without trying, there's that kind of extra layer of confidence. And it's obviously a massive part of what you do. It's your whole role, kind of this peer support. What do you see as, why do you think it's such a crucial part of rehab? And do you think it is a crucial part for everyone?
I think the thing is because having a brain injury can sometimes make you feel so isolated and so alone. So having that kind of, it's like when you start getting involved with peer support and you see and you can help other people, and then that builds a bigger group of people to start talking and start to feel they're not alone and see they're all going through the same kind of things. I think personally it's a thing that, like, I hope that everyone gets the chance to do it if they've got a brain injury, because it's so important in your rehabilitation.
Yeah. And do you think there's... Oh, sorry, Katie, go on ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think just, as OTs, we understand, how reassuring and powerful it can be to have an ally or a buddy who's been on that similar path or journey. And it's important to be able to talk to a peer and not a professional, because they get that advice firsthand. And, we want our clients to be able to share stories and socialize and meet, and we want them to be inspired by each other. We want them to, provide that practical advice, whether that's practical, emotional, social, whatever. But they do that, and it really reduces their isolation and loneliness, and it progresses their rehab. It provides that other layer of rehab that us as professionals can access. So it's definitely an additional layer to rehab.
Yeah, I always think that, when I speak to clients that have been through the worst time in their lives, we're trying to build a program of rehabilitation around them. And, sometimes I feel you kind of feel a bit, you're not really qualified. I would say to clients who try and treat your rehab like your job for now, and let's get this structure and routine in place. And then I think they must think, what is she talking about? What does she know about all of this? And obviously I've got a wealth of experience dealing with clients, but that firsthand is so different. And do you think that there's well, I kind of know the answer to this, there's no point in asking it, but is there a one-size-fits-all model? Because there's group peer support, there's one-to-one. Do you think that there are particular people, so young men or young women or, whatever cohort of people, do you think that they respond particularly well to peer support? I mean, is it for everyone?
I've spoke to youngish lads in their early 20s and ladies in their late 40s, and like they're all, and even the thing is, it's the start-off model is speaking to somebody that's that knows what you're going through, because that's such a special thing, and it's like they can get so much off the chest, and it's like when you see you're not alone, that can open your world to so many new things, because that can, yeah. So like, if that answers the question.
Yeah, there isn't a one size fits all at all, you know, and it's one of the challenges that we have, trying to provide something that suits everyone. And I think, you know, some of our clients, they don't want to meet in person, some want to meet online. But I think like Leon said, talking to somebody, whether that's just via a message or an email or getting involved, really opens them up. We did have, for example, one of our clients who was really nervous about getting involved, doesn't want to get involved with anything further, but he did say that just by speaking, he met up with Leon for a coffee and they chatted some things through, and then later on he fed back to his OT that actually meeting Leon and just having that chance to talk and see where Leon is now, because he's further down in the line of his recovery, has really given him a lot of hope. So just by that one meeting, he doesn't want to access our things yet, but just by that one meeting has given him hope, and that he might come and access some of the stuff that our client community does at a later date. And, you know, so we have to be adaptable, we have to be flexible, and try and reach as many clients as we can.
Yeah. And obviously Leon's only one person who sounds like he's pulled in all sorts of directions. But, you know, I wonder where people really can turn to for peer support, because you're obviously in a great position in the clients and your specific community. You're in a good position to access the services that you have to offer. But what about people outside of that group, you know, people that might benefit from peer support but don't know where to look for it?
So there's Headway. That's always a Headway. Headway obviously are a big brain injury charity, and there's they're all over the country, and they're all over the social media. So that's always a good place to start. I feel if it's somebody that wants to like needs that kind of bit of support, I think that's always a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, we spoke about this earlier, that we are very lucky that we are going through this, that we're able to provide our clients with this service. You know, our client community is a non-chargeable addition to our clients, but at this moment in time, it's not opened up to other service users, and that's something that we might do in the future, working alongside other charities such as Headway and such. The other ones, I think, are maybe like I think there's the Brain Injury Charity, and Same You actually has a directory, a neuro recovery directory that you can access support. And I think they also have a buddy system, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, they have, because that was my idea. Yeah, I went to a seminar in London, and I was privileged to meet Amelia Clark, which is the thing is, I think with Amelia, obviously Amelia Clark's got a brain injury, and having somebody in the public eye with a brain injury to see how far she's gone is a big part of people speaking out. Like I would think I think she's definitely inspiration to so many people as well.
Yeah. And I always find that that people who have been through that are often more willing to speak than you would think about it. You know, I've been to lots of talks and things with people affected by serious injury, and I'm always surprised by how open they are. So, you know, I would always encourage people to do some gentle, non-creepy stalking on social media and Twitter, or X as we have to call it now, to see what's going on. And I've just got one more question, I promise. I know we're over time, but I thought it was, I always think it's really useful to kind of draw upon real life scenarios and look back at kind of case studies, I suppose, of people who've benefited from peer support. And I thought you might be able just to give us a little snippet of somebody that's really benefited from it.
Well, all our clients who've accessed our client community have benefited from it in some way. One that I I'm working closely with at the minute, or I will be, was a young man who had an injury, and he was partway through his rehab, and he spoke to his OT, wanted to get involved, but he didn't know how. It was a real point of his friends before brain injury and what that looked like after. And he actually used one of our social platforms to provide an amazing speech that was so inspiring and emotional, just sort of discussing his rehab journey and the difficulties that he'd had. And while he was on there, other people joined, other clients joined, and they then jumped on and said, where can we go next week? Can we do this? And, so you saw the buzz, and it created this atmosphere. And now this client is actually, his case is settled, and he's actually looking at some vocational experiences and opportunities. And he wants to give back. He's actually realised that I think he was a mechanic before. He's actually now wanting to look at exploring an opportunity in our field. And, through the client community, we're hoping that we can support him vocationally with that.
Oh, brilliant. Good. Well, thank you both so much for taking time out and coming on and joining us. It's a really important topic, really interesting, and loads for us to think about there. So thank you. This is being recorded, and your contact details, Katie, and Leon's contact details, as well as mine, will be available on the end slide on the recording if anyone has any thoughts. Sorry, I didn't have time to do any questions today because I've been talking too much. But if anyone does have any follow-up or wants to query anything, please do feel free to get in touch. Leon and Kate are both on Twitter. You can stalk them on there and find them. So as well as Rehabilitate and Ray. So yeah, drop us a message, and thank you so much for joining. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.